small but very exciting Sephora order this week. I got 2 of the brand new Bite Beauty Multisticks. I got the shade Mascarpone and the shade Almond. If you haven't heard about these yet, you are able to use these 3 different ways. You can use them on your lips, cheeks, and eyes. I've used them a couple times. This is my 3rd time applying them. I already have some thoughts that I want to share with you, but before we get to those, I'm going to do a quick rundown of what I have on my face so far. I'm still loving my duo from Fitglow Beauty. I start off with their Redness Rescue Cream, and this is the cream that has that green mineral tint to it. I love it. It just makes my skin feel so nice. It's very calming. So I start in the center of my face and then spread that out. And the last time I used this, a couple people were worried that I didn't have any sun protection. Even though that this is technically a skincare item, I'm using it more like a primer. So I wake up and do my entire skincare routine, the last step being SPF, and then I go about my morning, and then when I sit down to do my makeup, instead of going in with a primer, I use that. So I'm still getting sun protection, and then I used 1 pump of the Vita-Active foundation. And I am in the shade VF1. I applied this all over with a beauty blender, and it's just very natural coverage, but it lasts really well, especially with it being so hot and muggy outside. I'm just loving that combination. For underneath my eyes, I first used the Urban Decay Peach Concealer and made sure to get it in the darkest portion underneath my eyes. And then I used the Bare Neutral, and I use this underneath my eyes, on any blemishes, and around my nose. And then like normal, I set everything with the Rms Beauty Gunpowder. This is something I showed you guys in my LA haul, and I used it right when I got it, and then I kind of stopped using it. I'm back to using it again, and I actually really like it. It's from Honest Beauty, and it is their contour and highlight kit. And I really like this medium shade right here. I use it a little bit like a contour, a little bit like a bronzer. It can get a little bit stiff in the pan, so I feel like using my finger warms it up, and then I apply it from the top of my ear down, and then I've been using the Real Techniques buffing brush to buff it up and out. I also apply a little bit on my temples and then just kind of blend it down my neck just a little bit. I also like to use my finger to apply the cream highlighter, tap it on my cheekbones, a little bit above my brow, and then I've been using a synthetic brush to blend it out. This has been one of my favorite steps since I bought this product. I'm still loving the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. What I like to do is take a large fluffy brush like the Too Faced Mr. Right, and I just apply it all along the perimeter of my face and a little bit down my neck. There's just something, it's just the perfect tone for me, not too much, and it adds just the right amount of warmth to my skin. Okay, I think that's all. I used MAC Brow Pencil and Lingering like I've done a million times. It's still my favorite brow product, but let us get into the Multisticks. If you're familiar with Bite, the packaging is very similar to the buttercream lipsticks. It's magnetic, the bullets are circular, and they've been kind of flattened on top. So again, you can use these on lips, cheeks, and eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and start out using this as my blush. I have the shade Mascarpone, and I don't wanna blind you, but I have a stainless steel makeup palette. I'm gonna draw the product right onto the palette. I think this will be a little bit easier than trying to pick up the product straight from the brush to the bullet. So I'm just gonna draw it on, and then I think I'm gonna try this Real Techniques cheek brush and pick up a little bit. And then I'm gonna start, well, actually it looks really pigmented. So I'm gonna start by blending it out. The first time I used these 2 days ago, I drew it onto my skin and then blended it out with my fingers, and that worked okay, but I think this will give a little bit more of a diffused look using it with a brush. Even though these are a cream product, they have, I think it's 35% powder in them, so they blend out incredibly well. I used this shade as my blush yesterday, had kind of a long day, and then when I went to take off my makeup at night, it was still there. So longevity seems to be pretty good too, and I didn't set it with anything else. Since it has that powder inside of it, I feel like you don't have to set it if you don't want to. It's not completely matte on the cheeks. I still have a little bit of shine, and it has blended in really nicely with my contour and highlight. Okay, I think I'm done with my face, so we're gonna move a little bit closer and try these out on the eyes. I'm gonna move on to the other shade I purchased, Almond, which is a deep, rich, reddy brown. Now, if you follow Bite on social media and you've seen any of the promotional images or videos, they're marketing these as very laid back, cool girl makeup. They show the model running it across their lid and then blending it in with their fingers. I've tried that, and unfortunately it doesn't work well on me. It makes my eyes look kind of flat and tired. If I want to do a one and done shadow, I need something with a little bit of shimmer to it so I can have a little bit of dimension. And unfortunately, even with what I have on right now, which is the NARS primer, and then I set it with a cream shadow, these still crease on me if I apply them all over. I have found a workaround, and that is to apply it high up in my crease. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Almond on that same stainless steel makeup palette, and then I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of product because this is very pigmented. I'm gonna pick it up with a fluffy brush and blend it all the way in, and then just take my time blending it out. Okay, this is Almond applied to my crease. I tried to use a light hand, but it's still very pigmented. It's a gorgeous shadow, and because it has so much powder in the formula, it plays really nicely with powdered shadow. So that's what I wanna show you next. I pulled my Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette out. I'm just gonna grab a couple shadows from this, add it to Almond, and create a complete eye look. After I finish up with powdered shadows, I used the Jane Iredale Jelly Jar and Brown for my liner. And then I thought that maybe my lower lash line needed a little bit of something, so I went back with Almond. This time I just took an angle brush and I dipped right on top of the bullet, and then I took just a tiny bit of product and smudged it at the outer corner of my lower lashes, and I really liked how that turned out. And then for mascara, I used something brand new. When I placed my Sephora order, I used a coupon, and I got a sample size of the Burberry cat lashes in jet black. First impression, so I can't tell you if it smudges or flakes or anything like that, but it gave a lot of length and it never really got clumpy no matter how many coats I put on. Okay, so I've used the bite sticks on my cheeks and eyes. The last place is lips, and what I've done so far is I added a little bit of MAC Soar lip liner. Since these bullets are circular, adding a lip liner first just helps you to be a little bit more precise because it can get a little bit messy, like especially up in the Cupid's bow. So I think I'm gonna go with Mascarpone, and I'm just going to apply it straight from the bullet onto my lips. This is the completed look, and I love Mascarpone on the lips. I think it's a gorgeous shade, and I wore this yesterday. I didn't keep exact time, but if I had to guess, I think it lasted for about 4.5 hours before I needed to reapply. And it's one of those mattes where it doesn't add moisture, but it doesn't take away moisture. I did add a balm at some point yesterday just because my lips have been really extra dry lately. But I think the Multisticks are really fun. They were fun to use today. For myself personally, I think I'll use these a lot more on the cheeks and lips and not as much on the eyes, mostly because of the creasing issue. But if you have these and you figured out a way to use them on your eyes, let me know down below. I would love to read that. And if you're interested in them, what colors are you considering? I ordered these online, so I haven't seen them in store, but I wanna go so I can swatch them all. And if I was gonna get another shade, I think I would get one that you could contour with. I think that would be really cool since they blend out so well. That's everything I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed and found something helpful. And I have a lot of fun videos coming up, so make sure to check back. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.